Welcome back to Valuable Rare Coins, where every coin could be a hidden treasure. First, we're revealing coins that might be worth a fortune right under your nose. If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join our hunt for rare and valuable finds. Let's dive in. We're going to dive into the world of the 1974 United States dime and explore why this seemingly small, simple coin could be worth a whole lot more than its face value. So grab your magnifying glass and let's get started. The 1974 dime is part of the well-known Roosevelt dime series, which was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, one of the most influential figures in American history. This coin, which has a diameter of just 17.91 millimeters, is often overlooked by most casual coin collectors. However, what many don't know is that the 1974 dime has certain features that make it a hidden gem in the world of numismatics. While it may seem like just another dime in your change, this coin holds a special place for collectors who know what to look for. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll find the familiar portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, created by artist John R. Cynic. The coin also includes the inscription Liberty, the year of minting, 1974, and the famous motto, In God We Trust. Roosevelt's dignified profile has become one of the most iconic designs in American coinage, and it's part of why this coin holds such lasting value. On the reverse side of the 1974 dime, you'll see a traditional depiction of a torch, olive branch and oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. The words United States of America, e pluribus unum, and one dime are also featured, clearly marking the denomination. It's a simple, elegant design that has been consistent since the coin's introduction, and it's one of the features that make the Roosevelt dime series so popular among collectors. Now, while the 1974 dime might look like any other dime at first glance, there are some important details that make it more valuable than it appears. First, it's important to note that not all dimes are created equal. The Mintmark plays a huge role in the coin's rarity and value. The 1974 dime, minted at the Denver Mint, is especially interesting because it was produced in large quantities, yet certain factors set it apart from its counterparts. One of the main reasons the 1974 dime stands out in the collecting world is because of its condition. Coins that have been in circulation for decades often show signs of wear, with visible scratches, discoloration, or even dents. However, a well-preserved coin, especially one that has been carefully stored or kept in an uncirculated state, can be worth a significant amount more. A 1974 dime in pristine condition is highly sought after by collectors, as it's rare to find coins that have been perfectly preserved after so many years in circulation. But there's more to the story than just condition. The 1974 dime is also notable for a number of minting errors that have occurred over the years. Minting errors are one of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting, and they can drastically increase a coin's value. Some of the most common minting errors that collectors look for in the 1974 dime include double die errors, off-center strikes, and die cracks. A double die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, causing the design to appear doubled or blurry. If you find a 1974 dime with a double die error, it's considered a rare and valuable find in the world of coin collecting. These errors are highly coveted by collectors because they make the coin unique, and as a result, they can push the value of the coin way beyond its face value. Another error that can make the 1974 dime more valuable is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is misaligned during the minting process, causing the design to be struck off-center. Coins with this error are highly collectible because they're rare, visually distinctive, and unique. If you're lucky enough to find an off-center 1974 dime, you could be holding onto something that's worth far more than just 10 cents. Additionally, some coins from this series have been found with die cracks, which occur when there's a flaw in the die that strikes the coin. These cracks can create distinct, unique markings on the coin, and collectors often pay a premium for coins with such features because they are one of a kind. Now, let's talk about the value of the 1974 D dime. While most coins of this type in average condition are worth, well, just 10 cents, a well-preserved, uncirculated coin or one with a minting error can be worth much more. If you happen to find a 1974 D dime in pristine condition or with one of these rare minting errors, you could be looking at a coin that's worth more than you ever imagine. In fact, depending on the condition and rarity of the coin. A 1994 D dime could be worth up to an incredible $90,000. Yes, you heard that right. $90,000 for a single 1974 D dime with exceptional features. It's hard to believe that such a small coin can carry such a high value, but it's true. Coins with minting errors, unique characteristics, and excellent condition can fetch an incredible price at auctions and in the collector market. So, if you're out there scouring your coin jar or browsing through your collection, make sure you give the 1974 D dime a second look. You could be holding onto a rare treasure that might just make you a lot of money. Of course, as with all coins, it's always a good idea to have your valuable pieces graded by a professional to determine their true worth. Second rare coin, we're diving into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American history, the 1894 United States dime. If you've ever thought that dimes were just small, everyday coins, think again. This particular dime could be worth a small fortune, and we're about to tell you why. So sit tight because you might just have a hidden treasure on your hands. The 1894 dime is part of the Barber Dime series, a collection of coins designed by the famous engraver Charles E. Barber. The Barber dime was minted from 1892 to 1916 and features a distinctive design that many collectors love. The obverse side of the coin shows a profile of Liberty, with her hair tied back, a symbol of the strong, free ideals of America. Surrounding her portrait are the words Liberty, In God We Trust, and the year of minting 1894. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find a beautiful rendition of a heraldic eagle, which was meant to symbolize the strength and power of the United States. The eagle is surrounded by the words United States of America and one dime, denoting the denomination of the coin. This simple yet powerful design makes the 1894 dime one of the most iconic coins in American history, and it's no wonder that collectors seek it out. However, what makes the 1894 dime particularly unique is its rarity. While millions of Barber dimes were minted during its series, only a handful of the 1894 dimes are known to exist today, making this coin a highly sought-after item in the world of numismatics. This rarity, combined with the coin's historical significance, makes the 1894 dime a true prized possession for collectors. Now, let's talk about the most important aspect, the value of the 1894 dime. While the face value of the dime is just 10 cents, the actual worth can be significantly higher due to several key factors, including its rarity and condition. When most people think of rare coins, they typically think of those that were never circulated or those that have unique features or errors. In the case of the 1894 dime, the rarity factor alone sets it apart. The story behind the 1894 dime is part of what makes it so intriguing. It is widely believed that only 24 coins were actually minted at the San Francisco Mint that year. The reason for this low mintage is that the mint was primarily focused on producing other coins, and it was believed that only a small number of proof coins were made. Proof coins are specially struck versions of regular coins that are produced for collectors, and they're generally made in very limited quantities. Out of the 24 1894 dimes that were struck, many of them were sold to collectors, but a few were accidentally released into circulation. Over the years, most of these coins were either lost, destroyed, or melted down, which makes finding an original 1894 dime a rare treasure indeed. To this day, only a handful of these coins are known to exist, and they are often the centerpiece of prestigious coin collections. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The value of the 1894 dime is also influenced by its condition. As with any rare coin, Those that have been kept in excellent, uncirculated condition are worth far more than those that show signs of heavy wear or damage. A coin in pristine condition can fetch a much higher price in the market, and the 1894 dime is no exception. When you're evaluating the 1894 dime, the grade is essential. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. A coin that has been well preserved and shows minimal wear could be graded in the extremely fine to mint state categories, which could lead to a higher price. But even coins in lesser condition still carry a significant premium due to their rarity. What's even more exciting about the 1894 dime is that there are some known variants and special features that make certain coins even more valuable. For example, there are reports of coins with errors such as die cracks or doubled die features. These errors are particularly valuable to collectors because they make the coin even more unique. Coins with minting errors are incredibly popular among numismatists, as they represent a rare occurrence in the minting process. So, if you happen to have an 1894 dime with a unique feature like this, you could be holding a real treasure. Now, the big question on everyone's mind: how much could an 1894 dime be worth? If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare coins in excellent condition, or if it has one of those special features or minting errors, you could be looking at a coin worth up to $100,000. Yes, that's right, $100,000 for a single 1894 dime. This is no small amount, especially when you consider that most people wouldn't think twice about tossing a dime in their pocket changed. So, how can you tell if you have an 1894 dime that could be worth a small fortune? Well, first, check the Mintmark. The 1894 dime minted in San Francisco will have the S Mintmark, and it's those coins that are particularly valuable. Next, examine the condition of the coin. If it's in great shape, you might be sitting on a treasure trove. And, of course, if you notice any minting errors, be sure to have the coin professionally graded. In conclusion, the 1894 United States dime is a prime example of how a seemingly small, everyday coin can carry immense value. Its rarity, combined with its historical significance and potential for minting errors, makes it one of the most sought-after dimes in the world. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare pieces, you could be holding onto a coin worth an astonishing $100,000. Third expensive coin, we're taking a closer look at a coin that might just surprise you, the 1980 United States dime. If you think dimes are just small change, think again. This coin, while often overlooked, holds a much higher value than you'd expect. Stick around until the end to find out just how much this humble dime could be worth in today's market. You might be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. First, let's take a quick trip back in time. The 1980 dime is part of the famous Roosevelt dime series, which was introduced in 1946 to honor the late President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The design, created by John R. Sinek, has become one of the most enduring and iconic in American coinage. If you're familiar with the Roosevelt dime, you'll know that it features the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse side, facing left, with the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the year of minting, 1980. But what really sets the 1980 dime apart isn't just its design. On the reverse side, you'll find a simple yet striking depiction of a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. Encircling this design are the words United States of America, e pluribus unum, and one dime. This design has remained largely unchanged since the coin's inception, making the Roosevelt dime series one of the most consistent and well-loved in American coinage history. Why should we care about a coin minted in 1980? You might think that coins from this era are still too recent to be considered valuable, but there's more to the story than meets the eye. The key lies in the minting year and the condition of the coin. The 1980 dime, minted at the Denver Mint, was produced in substantial quantities, around 1.5 billion coins. Given that such a large number of these coins were minted, you might think they'd be relatively easy to find, right? Well, here's where the rarity comes in. Over the years, most of these dimes have circulated widely, picking up wear and tear along the way. Coins that have been used in daily transactions, dropped into vending machines, and exchanged between countless hands are often in poor condition. In fact, most of the 1980 D dimes you'll come across will be in circulated condition, which means they're only worth face value or a little bit more. However, it's the uncirculated and well-preserved coins that are truly valuable. When a coin is kept in pristine condition, it's worth significantly more than a heavily circulated one. And with the 1980 D dime, finding an example in excellent condition can be incredibly rewarding. Coins that have been carefully stored, away from the wear and tear of circulation, can fetch a higher price in the market. Collectors are always on the lookout for well-preserved coins from this series, and the 1980 D dime is no exception. But here's where things get even more interesting. Some 1980 D dimes have been discovered with minting errors, which can further increase their value. Minting errors like double die strikes, off-center strikes, or even die cracks are a collector's dream. These errors happen when there's a flaw in the minting process, creating a unique, one-of-a-kind coin. A 1980 D dime with such an error can be a rare find, and if you happen to come across one, it could be worth much more than a regular coin in perfect condition. For example, a double die error happens when a coin is struck by a misaligned die, causing the design to appear doubled or blurry. This type of error is highly sought after by collectors because it makes the coin distinct and unique. If you're lucky enough to find a 1980 D dime with this error, you could be holding onto a coin that's much more valuable than you might think. The off-center strike is another potential error that can significantly increase the value of a coin. If the die that strikes the coin is misaligned, the design may not appear in the correct position, leaving part of the coin blank. An off-center 1980 D dime is a visually interesting piece that collectors would pay a premium for. Similarly, die cracks can form during the minting process, resulting in small, hairline cracks on the coin's surface. These cracks are unique, and they can make a coin much more valuable in the eyes of collectors. So, how much could a 1980 D dime be worth? If you've got an uncirculated coin in top condition, it could be worth far more than just 10 cents. In fact, depending on the grade, condition, and any minting errors, a well-preserved or rare 1980 D dime can fetch a stunning amount at auction or in the collector's market. If you have an example in exceptional condition or with a rare minting error, your coin could be worth up to $71,000. Yes, you heard that right. A 1980 D dime could be worth an impressive $71,000. That's $71,000 for just one dime. It might sound too good to be true, but with the right condition and features, this dime could fetch a price that many would consider a small fortune. If you're out there digging through your coin collection, or if you've got a jar full of coins that have been gathering dust for years, it might be worth taking a closer look at your 1980 D dimes. You never know when you might come across a hidden treasure that could be worth a significant amount of money. Especially, we're talking about a special coin that could be worth a lot more than you might imagine, the 1987 P United States dime. While many of these coins are still in circulation, a select few could be hiding in your collection, and they might be worth a small fortune. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll find out how much one of these dimes could be worth. Let's start with a bit of history. The 1987 P dime is part of the well-known Roosevelt dime series, which has been in production since 1946. Designed by the talented engraver John R. Sinek, the Roosevelt dime was created to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death. Since then, it's become one of the most iconic coins in the U.S. Mint's history. On the obverse side of the 1987 P dime, we see the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt himself, his image facing left. This side is inscribed with the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and, of course, the year of minting, 1987. The design has remained largely unchanged since the coin's introduction, making it a staple in American coinage. On the reverse side, we find a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, which symbolize liberty, peace, and strength. These elements are surrounded by the words United States of America, e pluribus unum, and one dime. These simple yet powerful symbols are a reminder of the values that the Roosevelt dime was designed to represent. At first glance, it might seem like just another dime that's part of everyday currency, but what makes the 1987 P dimes stand out is the rarity of certain examples. Like most coins, this dime was produced in large numbers by the Philadelphia Mint. In fact, more than 800 million dimes were minted in 1987. So, why is this particular coin worth so much more than its face value of 10 cents? Well, as with most valuable coins, the key factor is condition. While the 1987 P dime was produced in large quantities, not all of them have survived in the same condition. Over the years, coins in circulation have been subjected to wear and tear, and many of them have lost their luster. But if you're lucky enough to come across a 1987 P dime in uncirculated or near mint condition, you've found something truly special. Coins that are kept in excellent condition are much rarer than you might think, and as a result, they can be worth significantly more. Now, let's talk about why some 1987 P dimes are particularly valuable. A few examples of these coins have been found with minting errors that make them much more desirable to collectors. Minting errors are an exciting part of coin collecting, as they represent mistakes made during the production process, and these errors can lead to extremely rare and unique coins. A coin with a minting error often becomes more valuable because it's something that can't be replicated. Some of these errors can include things like double strikes, off-center strikes, or even die cracks. For example, a double die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, causing the image to appear twice, creating a blurry or doubled effect. This is a highly collectible error, and a 1987 P dime with a double die strike could be worth much more than a regular dime. Similarly, an off-center strike occurs when the coin is not aligned properly with the die, resulting in a design that's not fully centered. If you happen to have a 1987 P dime with an off-center strike, it could easily fetch a premium on the market. Another potential error that collectors look for is die cracks. Die cracks form when the dies used to strike the coins begin to wear down and crack over time. These cracks can create distinctive markings on the coin, which collectors find highly desirable. If you come across a 1987 P dime with a noticeable die crack, it could make the coin much more valuable. The market for error coins is always hot, and if you find a 1987 P dime with a rare minting mistake, you might be holding on to something worth far more than its face value. The more unique and rare the error, the higher the price it can command. It's not just the condition of the coin that matters, it's also the story behind it. And coins with errors have a story to tell, making them all the more intriguing to collectors. Now, let's get to the part you've been waiting for. Just how much could a 1987 P dime be worth? Well, depending on its condition, rarity, and any minting errors, this dime could be worth far more than just 10 cents. A well-preserved, uncirculated coin could easily fetch a premium price, and if it has any of those rare minting errors, you could be looking at a coin worth a small fortune. For example, a 1987 P dime in top-notch condition or with a unique error could be worth up to an impressive $63,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1987 P dime could be worth $63,000. That's $63,000 for just one coin. It's amazing to think that something so small could have such a significant value, but that's the beauty of coin collecting. The condition, rarity, and unique characteristics of a coin can turn it into a true treasure. If you're sitting on a jar of dimes or rummaging through your spare change, it might be worth taking a closer look at your 1987 P dimes. You never know when you might come across a hidden gem that could change your life. So, keep an eye out for coins that are in great condition or show signs of those rare minting errors. You could be sitting on a $63,000 treasure and not even know it. Now, we're diving into the world of the 1991 P United States 1 dime, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance, but has a secret value that could leave you amazed. Stick with us until the end to discover just how much this little dime could be worth. Let's start by taking a closer look at the history of the 1991 P dime. This coin is part of the Roosevelt dime series, which was first introduced in 1946 as a tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt following his death. The design, created by John R. Sinek, features Roosevelt's profile on the obverse side of the coin. This has remained unchanged for decades, making the Roosevelt dime one of the most consistent and recognizable coins in U.S. history. The 1991 P dime, minted at the Philadelphia Mint, is no exception. On the obverse of this dime, you'll see President Roosevelt facing left. The words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the mint year 1991 are clearly visible around his image. It's a simple yet powerful design that pays homage to one of the most important figures in U.S. history. Flipping the coin over on the reverse side, you'll find the iconic torch, olive branch, and oak branch. These symbols stand for liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. Surrounding these elements are the inscriptions "United States of America," "E Pluribus Unum," and "One Dime." This reverse design has remained virtually unchanged since it was introduced, and it perfectly complements the values represented by the Roosevelt dime. But here's where things get interesting. The 1991 P dime may not seem like anything special, but there's more to this coin than meets the eye. While these dimes were minted in large quantities, around 1.3 billion coins, the value of a 1991 P dime depends largely on its condition. Most of these coins circulated in everyday transactions, which means they've seen a lot of wear and tear over the years. So, what sets the valuable ones apart? The most important factor in determining the value of a coin is its condition, and the 1991 P dime is no exception. Coins that have been kept in uncirculated or mint condition are the ones that really catch the eyes of collectors. These coins are often kept in pristine condition without any visible signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration. The better the condition of the coin, the higher its value. Now, let's talk about why the 1991 P dime is particularly interesting to collectors. While it wasn't produced in exceptionally small numbers, some 1991 P dimes have been found with minting errors, which can significantly increase their value. Minting errors occur during the production process and can result in coins with unusual characteristics that make them stand out. These errors are highly sought after by collectors because they are one-of-a-kind pieces of history. For example, one of the most common types of minting errors you'll find in coins like the 1991 P dime is the double die error. This happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, causing the design to appear doubled. A double die coin is a true collector's item because of its uniqueness, and a 1991 P dime with this error could be worth significantly more than a standard dime in perfect condition. Another error that can make the 1991 P dime more valuable is an off-center strike. If the coin is not properly aligned with the die, it may not be struck evenly, leaving part of the coin blank or with the design shifted. This error is visually striking and adds a layer of uniqueness that collectors find fascinating. Die cracks are also a possible error that can occur during the minting process. Over time, the die used to strike the coins can develop cracks, which can be transferred onto the coin. These cracks are often seen in the design of the coin, and while they may look like imperfections to some, they are actually highly prized by collectors who seek out these flaws as they are one dash of dash a dash kind. So, how much is a 1991 P dime really worth? Well, if you happen to have one in pristine condition, or if you're lucky enough to find a minting error on the coin, the value could be much higher than its face value. The 1991 P dime in uncirculated condition might sell for a few dollars, but that's just the beginning. If you have a rare minting error, the value could increase dramatically. A coin with a double die error, off-center strike, or any other rare characteristic could fetch an impressive price from collectors. And now, the moment you've been waiting for: how much can a 1991 P dime actually be worth in today's market? If you have a well-preserved coin or a coin with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a substantial payout. A 1991 P dime in top condition, or with one of those sought-after minting errors, could easily be worth up to an astonishing $50,000. Yes, that's $50,000 for just one dime. Imagine finding a 1991 P dime in your collection or pocket change and realizing that it could be worth a small fortune. It's always exciting to know that something as simple as a dime could hold such a hidden value. Last unique coin, we're diving deep into the world of a coin you might have seen before but never thought twice about, the 2005 P United States 1 dime. It's a coin that looks like it might just be worth its face value of 10 cents, but as we'll show you today, this seemingly ordinary dime might be hiding a valuable secret. The 2005 P dime is part of the famous Roosevelt dime series, which has been a cornerstone of U.S. coinage since it was introduced in 1946. Designed by John R. Sinek, the Roosevelt dime has remained unchanged in its design for decades, featuring the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse side of the coin. This simple yet powerful design makes the Roosevelt dime one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. The 2005 P dime features Roosevelt's profile with the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and "The Year of Minting," 2005, inscribed around the edge. On the reverse side of the coin, we find the classic design of a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength. These symbols are framed by the words "United States of America," "E Pluribus Unum," and "1 dime." While this design is iconic, you might be surprised to learn that the 2005 P dime could be worth far more than just 10 cents, depending on its condition and any potential minting errors. So, what makes the 2005 P dime stand out from the millions of others minted that year? Well, the answer lies in the rarity of certain examples. While the 2005 P dime was produced in large quantities, not all of them have survived in perfect condition. Many of these coins have been used in everyday transactions, so they may have been worn down, scratched, or damaged. But here's where things get interesting. Coins that have been kept in uncirculated or near perfect condition are much rarer and can be worth significantly more. A coin that is well preserved, with sharp details and no visible signs of wear, is considered a mint state coin, and these are the coins that collectors go crazy for. The better the condition of the coin, the higher its value. If you have a 2005 P dime in uncirculated condition, you might already have a valuable coin on your hands, even without any special errors or characteristics. But it doesn't stop there. Some 2005 P dimes have been discovered with minting errors, and these can make them incredibly valuable to collectors. Minting errors are a fascinating part of coin collecting because they represent mistakes made during the production process, and these errors are rare, making them highly sought after. In the case of the 2005 P dime, there are several types of minting errors that can increase its value, and if you happen to have one of these rare mistakes, you could be looking at a substantial payout point. One of the most valuable types of minting errors you can find on the 2005 P dime is a double die error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, causing the design to appear twice or doubled on the coin. Double die errors are especially desirable because they are distinct and difficult to replicate, making them a must-have for any serious collector. If you have a 2005 P dime with a double die error, it could be worth much more than a standard dime in mint condition. Another possible error that can make the 2005 P dime more valuable is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned with the die during the striking process, causing the design to be shifted or incomplete. An off-center strike is a striking visual error that can increase a coin's value because it's a unique feature that collectors look for. The more noticeable the misalignment, the more valuable the coin can be. Die cracks are also something collectors look for on coins like the 2005 P dime. A die crack occurs when the die used to strike the coin begins to wear down and crack. These cracks can be transferred to the coin during the minting process, and they create distinctive lines or marks on the surface of the coin. Some collectors actually seek out these cracks because they are unique, making the coin a true error coin. If your 2005 P dime has one of these die cracks, it could be more valuable than a regular, well-worn dime. Now, we've talked about condition and errors, but what about actual value? How much could a 2005 P dime be worth in today's market? As with most coins, the value of the 2005 P dime depends heavily on its condition and whether it has any rare minting errors. If you have an uncirculated example, the value will be higher than a typical dime, but the real money lies in the error coins. If your coin has a double die, off-center strike, or any other significant minting error, the value could rise dramatically. So, how much could a 2005 P dime with the right conditions and errors be worth? Well, if you have a well-preserved coin in mint state or, even better, one with a rare error, it could be worth $25,000. Yes, that's $25,000. It's amazing to think that a small, everyday dime could hold such a significant value. But that's the magic of coin collecting. Sometimes the most ordinary items are hiding extraordinary worth. If you're hunting through your change or scouring your coin collection, it's worth checking your 2005 P dimes to see if you have any hidden treasures. Whether it's an uncirculated coin or one with a minting error, you could be sitting on a coin worth a small fortune. Remember, condition and rarity are key, and the 2005 P dime could be worth far more than you think. Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another exciting discovery. Until next time, keep hunting and happy collecting.